Howdy folks, Tetsu here, down in lower tiers where the power's low, but the battles are fierce. And today I'll be continuing my self-proclaimed quest to archive all the battles during the first 7U tournament, which thereby hope to bring light to the tier and possibly help it grow. So join me as we move on to the match 2 of round 3. Our combatants this time will be Ice Yazu versus Shing'n Streets. Shing'n Streets defeated Nultiprise in their round 2 match, with Ice Yazu doing the same against Martinvtran, both winning handily, going 2-0. Either way, their skill should be witnessed here today by both myself and you the viewer. If you happen to enjoy the video, I humbly request you click that like button. Also subscribe and click that bell if you want to be notified for later uploads. Working together, we can bring more attention to this fascinating metagame. With all that said, let's begin. Okay, match 2, game 1. Let's play lead metagame. Voltorb coming from Shing'n Streets and Charmeleon for Ice Yazu. Quick switch to Ivysaur, who gets paralyzed by a T-Wave, with Shing'n Streets going for their own tentacle, which does quickly get put to sleep. Charmeleon coming out as Ivysaur goes for that body slam, no paralysis, and Ice Yazu goes to their own Charmeleon, which gets hit with Slash. Do we see counter? Fire Blast coming in, so this will reset counter, but it is Slash. Both Charmeleon are below 50%, and speed tie? Oh, Shing'n Streets goes for the Voltorb, which will outspeed Charmeleon, trying to save their Charmeleon. Oh, the bait! Ice Yazu sends in their Ivysaur, Fire Blast goes in, and Charmeleon gets taken down for Ice Yazu. Golbat is now switched in, hits a crit double edge onto Voltorb as it comes out. Confuse Ray coming into Shing'n Streets Golbat, it hits itself a Confusion, double edge going in. More Confusion damage, but finally it breaks through, dealing a little bit with DE. More double edge, and it's basically just back and forth at this point. But Cubone comes in for Shing'n Streets this time. Confuse Ray? Mega Drain doesn't really do a whole lot, which isn't really surprising. It's not 4 times effective like it would be with Rhyhorn. Another Golbat. Mega Drain damage, not very much obviously because of Poison Flying. But double edge does come out, crits, and takes down Shing'n Streets Golbat. Meowth is switched in for Shing'n Streets and takes out Ice Yazu's Golbat. As Clefairy is switched in, goes for the T-Wave, but Tentacool, who is still asleep, takes it. Charmeleon gets switched in, and the substitute is down. That is not good. And because Charmeleon is going to be taken out first, the substitute does not go down. And that allows Cubone to be taken out. The sub does get broken, by the way. But Meowth is able to take basically no damage. More T-Wave action coming for Clefairy. Shing'n Streets tries to keep their Meowth from being paralyzed. Which, noble, very noble. But in this case, Meowth gets hit twice as it's switched in and outsped. And Tentacool, who is still asleep, gets taken out, winning Ice Yazu the first game. Very well played by both players. On to game 2. Let's play lead metagame. Meowth coming from Shing'n Streets this time as Charmeleon once again for Ice Yazu. Slash going into the switched in Shelter. Fire Spin misses and Clamp hits. Ivysaur switched in for Ice Yazu, taking a little bit of damage as Clamp continues. Tentacool's taking it reasonably well. I mean, 100 base special is definitely nothing to scoff at. And that's a really long Clamp, to be fair. But Wrap goes in, Ivysaur switched in now for a PT. Golbat's coming in, and it gets put to sleep. Charmeleon is now in as Body Slam goes down, and it actually gets the paralysis. Fire Blast hits, does a little bit of damage into the switched-in Charmeleon, and Fire Blast coming from Ice Yazu, it crits into the incoming Rhyhorn, but Fire Spin once again misses, and Charmeleon goes down. Tentacool now ends, Shelter switched in by Shing'n Streets, tanking a Surf, Hydro Pump hits, and it takes out Shelter. Ivysaur is now in, but this is really risky. Blizzard hits, but Sleep Powder does connect. This allows Ice Yazu to switch in their Ivysaur, but it gets paralyzed in almost a parody of what happened before. Body slam, swords dance from Shing'n Streets as they go for their own body slam. Paralysis goes through, and body slam from Shing'n Streets takes out Ivysaur with theirs on 13% health. Ice Yazu has their Golbat switched in as Rhyhorn comes in to tank. A double-edged Cubone from Ice Yazu goes for the Earthquake, takes out Rhyhorn. Ivysaur goes in, Razor Leaf into the incoming Golbat, and Double Edge goes into the sacked Ivysaur. Charmeleon is now out, Double Edge from Golbat, and Counter does a ton of damage, bringing Golbat to 21%, recoil to 15%, but Charmeleon is now going to go down after being paralyzed. Meowth goes in for Ellie, and they win the speed tie. For those who are not aware, Golbat and Meowth are tied at 90 base speed. Golbat is being switched in, the slept Golbat, for Shing'n Streets, into Cubone. Blizzard. Golbat does wake up, and Blizzard misses from Cubone, and Mega Drain does a little bit of damage. We see another one. Oh, another Blizzard. More Mega Drain. It's basically trading. Shing'n Streets is trying to give their Meowth the best opportunity here. They do manage to take out the Cubone as Ice Yazu goes in with their Meowth, taking it out. Taking out the Golbat. And Shing'n Streets is able to win the first speed tie. It wins the second. And now it's just Tentacle who is asleep. Tentacle's not going to wake up. And it goes down. Winning Shing'n Streets the second match. So 1-1. Alright, on to game 3. Let's play lead metagame. Tentacle coming from Shing'n Streets and Ice Yazu. So we're going to be sending a tent battle at the beginning of this. Little bit of wrap. Hydro Pump going from Ice Yazu early on, trying to do some damage as Shing'n Streets goes for the wrap. Welling down. Blizzard crit. Do we see a freeze? No freeze and a surf coming from Ice Yazu. Both players are trying to muscle through this water-based lead. Charmeleon is going to be switched in for... That's interesting. Ooh, that was quite nice. I'm getting lost, actually. Charmeleon was switched in to basically threaten Tentacle. It did, but Rhyhorn was switched in as well. Hitmonchan does a little body slam on Hitmonchan coming in, as now Hitmonchan is going after Ivysaur before it is put to sleep. It did bring it down to 36%, though. Body slam on the incoming Charmeleon, and paralysis! Onto it. Fire Blast does take Ivysaur out, though. Shing'n Streets now sending back in their Rhyhorn. Earthquake as Golbat is immune. Beedrill is now switched in. Mega Drain doesn't do very much. But Golbat is going to stick it in and go for the double edge. Confuse Ray as 2 times attack goes in, and Beedrill hits itself with powered up attack and gets taken down by double edge. Shing'n Streets now on the back foot with 2 Mons out. Charmeleon is switched in. Fire Blast going into Golbat, and it burns. Confuse Ray coming from Ice Yazu. But Charmeleon was able to break through and do another Fire Blast. Tentacle switched in, though. Winds up going to the surf of the incoming Tentacle from Shing'n Streets. And Tentacle goes for rest. Okay, I mean, we've heard this talked about, but to actually see it is a bit of an interesting idea. Ice Yazu is whoa, what the heck? Meowth tried to go for a substitute, and Tentacle is going to be sent down. Charmeleon switched in for Shing'n Streets. Goes for counter on the switched in Charmeleon, tanking it out. Fire Spin now going to be used to chip away at Ice Yazu's Tentacle, bringing it into slash range. This is pretty darn good. And yeah, there it goes. Tentacle is down. This is a pretty close fight right now. Bubble Beam prediction by Ice Yazu taking out Rhyhorn. That was clutch, because if Rhyhorn had been able to get in, it could have used Earthquake, easing it up for Shing'n Streets to allow for their Meowth to finish it off pretty easily. Meowth coming in, crit body slam, and this is This is basically over at this point. 3 months to 1. And Charmeleon is asleep. So Ice Yazu is going to do their best to try to whittle it down. Another body slam, probably. Oh, it actually managed to survive. And Charmeleon just will not wake up. Okay, down you go. And with that, Ice Yazu wins 2-1. Well done. So, what did we learn? Well, after seeing both players using Cubone, I can't help but want to talk about it. Another ground type within the depths of 7U, Cubone has the useful immunity to Thunder Wave Paralysis. What can it do outside of that though? Rhyhorn is obviously more popular, at least by usage, as we've seen, so what does Cubone have going for it? What does this little dino bring to the table? Quite a bit, actually. Defensively, it separates itself from Rhyhorn by being a pure ground type. Besides the immunity to electric moves, it also makes grass and water moves only 2 times effective. While you're not staying in against Ivysaur or 10 anytime soon, this is important against Top Cat Meowth. Bubble Beam doing 31.3 to 36.9% without a crit, making it a 78.4% chance to 3-hit KO, whereas against Rhyhorn, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Its typing also means it can beat the rock monster one-on-one, if not paralyzed, with Cubone doing 41 to 48.4% with Earthquake, while Rhyhorn's tops off at a 39.6%. A bit of behind the scenes here, while looking this stuff up, I calced the Earthquake thing, and my half-asleep brain couldn't register that Rhyhorn was rock type, so I went to Discord to ask, and as soon as I sent it, my brain kick-started. I need sleep. Offensively, Cubone does have a bit of coverage. Having access to Blizzard, Fire Blast, both elemental beams, has normal coverage in submission and body slam to help spread status. It's also one of the few mons in the tier to get counter, so that's nice. And for those who will ask if Boomerang could be useful as a sub breaker, to that I say, no. It just stops after it breaks it. Dang it. Altogether, this makes Cubone a decent mon. What are its drawbacks, though? While faster than Rhyhorn with a base speed of 35, it doesn't outspeed much else, allowing top picks like Charmeleon and even uncommon mons like Shelter to PT around it something fierce. A base 40 special also makes it highly susceptible to special attacks, with Charm's Fire Blast doing between 54.5 to 64.6%, making a less than ideal switch-in. Another thing of note is that if your opponent switches their tentacle into your Earthquake, don't ask me why they would do that, but just for the sake of brevity, where Rhyhorn has a clean OHKO, Cubone only has a 43.6% chance to OHKO. And therein lies Cubone's biggest problem. Damage output. With a base attack of 50 and low special, this little guy is hitting nothing all that hard, with most of the things it can potentially check just tripping it and stealing its lunch money. With the match over, Ice Yazu will be continuing on in the WB, with Shing'n Streets gaining their first elimination will be going down to the LB. We'll be catching up with them again later, I'm sure. And if you happen to enjoyed the video, why not join in on the fun? I've got all the links necessary in the description, from the Discord to the Resource Hub. Hope to see you there. And until next time, everybody, take care.